Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Before I welcome you guys, I am Leslie Mota. Welcome to the nightly recap, sponsored by Hobby, powered by Gokhshtein News Network, your trusted source for politics, crypto, and everything in between that makes you question reality. How the heck are you guys tonight? What the hell is happening? A lot is happening. But if you haven't noticed, I've been stepping up the content on my page lately. No, it's not the intern, it is all me. Hope you are enjoying the content on my page because I'm thinking about taking things a little bit even further. I am thinking about maybe possibly launching an OnlyFans. If you're ready for more steamy content, drop a pineapple in the chat or under the stream post, wherever you want to drop a pineapple, but drop it one. The F, why the hell are we allowing the intern to pimp us out? I feel like the intern is pimping me out. All freaking week, the intern is like, Leslie, let me rebrand you. Let me create content for you for the rest of the week. Whatever I create, you post it on the timeline. Leslie, right now is boob season. And I'm like, what the hell is boob season? Girls are posting their chest out there, posting sexy pictures. That's taking off. But, for me, I'm always wearing blazers. So, very difficult for me to do that type of content. So, I was like, let's give it a try. So, we did it with little animes, and it seems like it is triggering my algorithm. So, I guess the intern does know something. Post content, even if it's anime with boobs, men still like it. Even if it's anime feet and they're censored, the freaking algorithm loves it. Some of you men are pervs, even with anime. Come on, anime? What the hell is that? Yeah, David, we're getting hoard out because it's your fault. Tammy, hi, Tammy. Mexi, my boo. You need to come up here with me. But yes, posting pictures with boobs will trigger the algorithm. I need to post more. Intern, create me more of those little animes that you've been doing for me. Men are loving it. Everybody's loving it. All the men. So, yeah, again, this episode or this show or the nightly recap is now sponsored by Hoppy. So thank you, Hoppy, for that. Now let's get into the news. And then I do have a special guest today. Landy, you know what to do whenever you want to do it because Landy and I think we might get into a debate tonight. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, tune in tomorrow morning, my good morning, turn on notifications because you do not want to miss the post for tomorrow morning. It's going to be a very delicious one. So buckle up. And if you like to go to a baseball game and eat hot dogs, please tune in for more. Stable steps forward. Senator Bill Haggerty says stablecoin legislation will help launch America's payment system into the 21st century. Is that so? Oh my goodness gracious. Anyways, David, we don't want to see your feet pic because you do have very ugly feet. I don't know what that's going to do to the algorithm, but it's going to be disgusting. Musk draws the line. Elon Musk urges Americans to call their lawmakers, saying bankrupting the country isn't okay. Kill Bill bees. But anywho, hi Landy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Just waiting to hear some of the news and not sure about the debate side of things, but definitely I'm being called out in the chat here for loving hot dogs apparently, and I'm not quite sure what that means. Is that coded language? I
Wait, who said that you like hot dogs? Because that is coded language.
this man he goes by the name David Gokhshtein.
Really? I heard
Yes.
David Gokhshtein likes hot dogs too. But I mean, there is going to be going out an image tomorrow about somebody eating a hot dog. I can't say who, but Everybody, if you guys are tuning in tonight, pay attention to all of our accounts because you don't know who is going to be that someone that eats hot dogs, likes hot dogs. Landy, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue.
Okay, so I just changed my background on this side to blue just to accommodate you, Landy.
Oh, thank you.
So on the news up next, Landy, JP Morgan wants more crypto. 3.6 trillion asset manager JP Morgan will now accept Bitcoin and crypto ETFs as collateral for loans. How about that?
It's not gonna stop. It's gonna keep
It,
going.
because who owns the world? Who owns the financial world, Landy?
Well, I mean, who owns the most fiat and really wants in on the Bitcoin game is really what it's about, right? It's who controls the money. You know, they want Bitcoin now, and there's bigger players that are willing to sell it to them. Um, Otherwise, they're getting in at the price they deserve, and then they can run it up for the rest of us.
They sure can. And I don't think that they are going to be the first or the last bank here in America. I think, once they start seeing JP Morgan doing that, a lot of other banks are going to start trickling in.
Absolutely. I've had some good conversations even this past week.
Yes, I think a lot of us have. And I just like to poke the bear. So sometimes the things that I say is just to be give opposition, but it doesn't mean that I feel it or want it.
Pause.
I don't know why I can't stop laughing. My intern, he just sent me a picture, Landy. I mean, come on. Amazon's AI play. Amazon announces a 10 billion US investment to accelerate AI innovation. What is happening? Do you think that Amazon Jeff Bezos wants to compete with Elon Musk?
Well, of course, yeah, but he's also entering a pretty crowded arena right now in the AI game. But they have a lot of data, um, and there's data that they have access to that could suit their business. Now, I don't know if they want to compete head to head and just be a catch all like every other AI platform, but the AI wars are just getting started between all these bigger players. So, I mean, you're looking at Gemini and their most recent updates, and now all you see is the VO3 videos out there that are freaking everybody out. Grok's getting more powerful day by day when it's actually working. Yeah, today it hasn't wanted to look over any kind of documentation you give it, but could be a me problem.
So
Um,
typically you upload or you give Grok documentation and it will
yeah,
spit out whatever your question is based on the documentation that you upload.
yeah, and I like to use all the platforms to see how how they parse the documentation, especially if it's government documents, like the most recent bill
Yeah.
that was passed by the House, or whether it's CBO documentation, which is the budget office. And it's interesting watching them parse through that information because they all have a little bit of bias. Grok seems to be the one that just concentrates on the data right
Mhm.
now. Um, but it's not as powerful as the others in that it can create like it's not as good at creating like a website. If I wanted to break down exactly each category so that it's human readable for somebody where you can click on the categories, it tends to suffer there, at least at the moment. Or it's user error on my part. I'm not quite sure. There's people who absolutely love it and are moving over to it versus other platforms, but yeah, there's a lot more competition, the better, because we need it. We can't have all of these companies just building out and one remaining dominant. We need them to compete with each other and then start to force them in the direction of, us controlling our own data. So now they have competition from other private sector players who can, where you own your data and control your data. And that's actually what's really big on X lately. So we'll see. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
there
like,
I am.
you know what? At this point, I don't want to be by myself. So let me bring on your little doggy that's spitting some saliva, colorful saliva out.
Yeah, I've gotten some requests from certain communities considering the color of the puking puppet here, but it
Whoa,
is,
that's too close for my
yeah.
comfort.
But yeah, I was afraid there was going to be a hot dog picture there for a second. Whew.
I mean, intern, where are you? Get to work. Landy's picture.
Oh
I need a,
no. Is
I
the
need
hot
a
dog
hot
gonna be
dog.
pixelated like your feet were?
Yeah. It's actually, I mean, can we make a hot dog, but that is good for television and that we don't get censored on other platforms? But David, I know you're in here typing. Can you please tell the intern to do this little image and put a hot dog so we can put it up here for Landy?
Oh, man.
Landy loves hot dogs. I think a lot of us love hot dogs, Landy. You're not alone. I love hot dogs. Rewrite
Sure.
the bill. Elon Musk urges Congress to draft a new spending bill that doesn't add to the deficit and park the beautiful bill because I do want to touch a little bit on that. I know that we touched on it a little bit earlier in David's space. David got his feathers ruffled in that space and couldn't have, an educated debate with us, Landy. So I'm glad that you came on with me tonight. Wanted to discuss it a little bit more, your thoughts, and all that stuff. And I also want to say that David, as much as he says that he empowers women and he loves women and all that stuff, I think he's biased and calling us liberals and feminists doesn't show support for women or that he likes women. So I don't know. I think there's little issues with David there. Musk warning shot. Elon Musk calls the proposal congressional bill debt slavery for the American people. What do you think of that, Landy?
Um, I don't think he's wrong, but I also don't entirely agree with him when looking over the bill. And right now, I'm just going through I actually look, there's certain portions of this bill that are much needed, that are cutting waste and trying to tighten things up. There's also all of the tax reform and tax codification from the original tax proposals from Trump's first term, uh, that I think would help people. But there is expanded spending in many different areas through the next 5 years. And even the 10-year impact. And CBO is still looking over this data. And it's interesting because the calculations are almost calculated like revenue. It's not just spending, right? So it's what's coming in versus what's going out. And when you propose tax cuts, that also increases the aggregate spending side in the long run. In the long run, in the way that they do their calculations. So a lot of the numbers that are out there are not really accurate. CBO is still putting together the metrics, and they're going line item by line item, and then there's the global metrics. And I think that this is something that is very important for people to really understand if they're going to take a look at this stuff, because and I think it's on us to understand this stuff, because if you don't understand this stuff, the politicians, when they go back to their districts, are just going to lie about it, right? And you can't hold their feet to the fire. You can't confidently send in or organize around putting pressure on them either. So understanding how this stuff works is imperative. There's a lot in this bill. It is a lot. There's the different areas from all of the different, like the Committee on Agriculture, Committee on Armed Services, Committee on Education and Workforce, Energy and Commerce, Committee on Homeland Security, and then the Ways and Means Committee, which is where you're getting a lot of the tax cut stuff, like the permanently preventing tax hikes on American families and workers is good. No tax on tips is good. Good scholarship and granting organization credits, encouraging a lot more in the trades, which I think is really good and will help people in the long run. But you don't see the net effects of a lot of that kind of stuff on that. That's latent data, and the way that it's calculated is really gross. But they also have a lot of building out rural America, a lot of stuff for farmers. The working family stuff, the removing taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants, which is on the savings side, but still incurs a cost. And then there's a lot of proposed spending is what everybody's is concentrating on from Ways and Means. So that's where everybody's getting the $4 trillion number from, but it's actually in aggregate right around 1.4 at the moment, and we'll see if that number actually goes up or down after the analysis and breakdown from CBO. CBO has been jamming on it for a while, and now it's about, do you trust the numbers that they come out with?
And do we trust the numbers, Landy?
Um, when it comes to spending, I feel as though it's a bit of a black box, right? Uh, so let's see. Yeah, it's a bit of a black box when it comes to spending because, even when you start spending in some of these different programs, we see what happened with like USAID. Well, there's good programs in there and they get like this blanket funding that they can give out and all these sub programs that are created underneath. There was like legitimate real work being done, but in aggregate, most of it was just pay to play crap that was rounding through different NGOs, right back to politicians' pockets and families' pockets and stuff like that. And that's where there is things in here that need to be addressed. I think I don't know if they will be. I really don't, and that's where we have to hold our representatives accountable for what's in the bill. I think there's more aggregate good in the bill than bad, and I think the hyperbole around the spending increase, it pales. The spending increase actually does pale in comparison to what we've seen in the past with other bills, just in the past 4 years alone, in terms of impact over time. But it's being made out to be a very big deal because it's Trump. It's
Yeah.
just easy to do that because it's him. I think that if you go through the line items in the bill and you look at the language for each of the sections, we have to keep spending on military. We have to keep supporting our farmers and production here in the United States. Like, these things require spending. Now the argument becomes, do we spend from the government coffers, which requires printing at this point because we don't bring in enough money to pay this stuff down, um, or do we just let the private sector handle it? And that's where there's the big debate is like, hey, a lot of people want the cost cutting. They want less spending. They want less inflation. And right now, in the current system that we live in, there is no way around inflation. The inflation mandate for the Fed is 2% per year, and trying to even get back to that has been very difficult over a pretty incredible tightening that they did. And now we're in the phase of, where do we go from here with the problem that we already have, which does require spending, because if you slow down spending, the economy will collapse. So how do we balance this? And I think that there is good things in here, there's bad things in here. And one of the bigger factors that's being hammered on right now is the narrative being built that Elon Musk failed, Doge failed, and now there's a big spending bill on the table. But in reality, there was 181 lawsuits filed when Doge went and made the recommendations that stalled the entire agenda. They already did some cost cutting. I think it's somewhere around 100 bill confirmed. And there's about 200 and something billion that's going to be confirmed that the courts have sided with essentially the Doge cost cutting measures, which about another 200 bills. So there's probably about 300 or 400 bill in the pocket there, for savings and cost cuttings, and reallocation of funds, which can be put back into bills like this for spending, and they can be reallocated. So it can be earmarked for the accounting purposes that way. And the more that they can save, they can offset, right? So that can, they've got what I think like 160 or 161 lawsuits they're still working through. There's a few that they decided not to challenge, and they're all being brought on. They're all being brought by Democrats right now, and this is all to save their little slush funds because he targeted all their little slush fund programs. There are some rhinos coming out against it, but they're not the ones filing the lawsuits on the Doge side. But if
The
you can
Democrats
offset,
filing the lawsuits.
yeah, they're the ones filing the lawsuits. They do have support from some rhinos in them, but it's Democrats and Democrat agencies and organizations filing these lawsuits. So we'll see how it works out. I'm still trying to parse through some of the CBO data. It's dense. It's dense shit. And I think that everyone is just looking at the ways and means number of proposed spending at 4 billion because that's not actually what's in the bill currently. But they definitely want to go on a spending spree. And we're the only ones that can stop them. And I'm glad that guys like Elon are out there hammering on it and really bringing people's attention to it. And I think that Doge is going to continue and that we can start to offset what is in the bill. And we'll see how that goes. Just got to hold their feet to the fire, right?
Absolutely. Wait, I see a mistake here, and I don't like it, Landy.
A mistake.
With our production, the recap with Leslie Mota and David Gokhshtein.
Oh
You're
no,
not.
David's in my trunk. You didn't hear on Monday? He was in the trunk of the car. I played it at the beginning. You could hear him saying, yeah. So I don't know if you were there when I played that.
Are you feeding him hot dogs while he's in the back of your trunk?
He's getting all the hot dogs. He loves it apparently.
I will ask no more on that note. Trump turns up the heat. President Trump says it's too late. Jerome Powell must cut interest rates immediately. Do you think that those rates are going to be cut immediately? Do you think Powell is going to listen to Trump at this point?
Sorry, I was muted there. Uh, is he going to listen to Trump? No, no, he's not. I mean, he's not going to listen to Trump. He's going to look at yeah, free David.
I heard David, Tammy, yeah. I heard from Tammy that David loves footlongs and he loves to put chili cheese, whatever that means. I mean, I don't know if that's some other kind of freaky stuff.
He likes hot dogs with all the fixins.
Oh, he's a 12 in. Damn, David. Like
He's
that?
I mean, that's how he ended up in the trunk of the car in the first place. But the big thing is with Powell is he's going to go on the economic data, and the economic data is split. It's kind of neutral. At this point, we saw a little bit of reduction in inflation, then a flattening coming into this month. This is the close of the quarter this month, so it's
Yeah.
going to be interesting going from there. We'll see. We'll see. They talk. Bissett and Powell talk every week, and Trump meeting with him, probably asking him more questions than anything else. As Powell is in charge of that side of things, and I'm sure we're going to start to see movement. Net exports were the only thing that were dragging down GDP, and that's because everyone's front running imports. So we're likely going to see the excess import number come down and start to normalize for net exports. We'll probably see growth again. That would likely lead to cuts. But I've said this before, Powell, as soon as he starts cutting, understand that U.S. Treasury demand is still low. So they're going to have to be the buyer of last resort. So if they cut and they don't see demand, well, what happens? That means that we have to start doing a little bit of balance sheet expansion, which is just QE without making it a policy. And then there's QE as a policy. So, and that's tranches of buys. So we'll see how it goes forward this month.
We will see. Moscow enters the market. Russia's Moscow exchange has launched Bitcoin futures trading. Oh, David's family, Russia, has entered. I bet he's very excited about that. Right, David? The Bank of Japan prefers to take things nice and slow, just like David. The Bank of Japan is considering easing the pace of bond tapering next year. Wait, nice and slow? Intern, we got that one wrong because David is fast and furious. Remember, every time he's by himself, he always says how fast he goes and how he finishes in less than 30 minutes. So, I don't know about nice and slow. I don't know if David takes his time. On that note, we are going to go to a quick commercial break. We will be right back. The nightly recap is sponsored by Hoppy. Isn't that such a cute little frog jamming there? It makes me want to jam. US and Pakistan are teaming up. Pakistan Digital Asset Minister met with the executive director of the US President's Council on Digital Assets to discuss potential crypto collaboration. Everybody wants a piece of that ass. Everybody wants a piece of that crypto, Landy. What you think about that? What that ass do, Landy? What that crypto do?
I'm sorry, I missed I missed what you said because I saw what the intern has posted.
Oh my
Um,
God, what did he post?
yeah. So, what was the headline there?
The what? Oh,
What was what was that headline there?
US and Pakistan are teaming up. Pakistan Digital Assets Minister met with the executive director of the US President's Council on Digital Assets to discuss potential crypto collaboration. And I said, everybody wants a piece of that ass. Everybody wants a piece of that crypto.
They do. I believe there was also a proposal for a reserve for Pakistan as well at some point. Maybe I'm misremembering that or misappropriating that to Pakistan, but I could have swore I heard something about that fairly recently, like last week. But there's definitely some movement there. They know they need to get out of the dregs that they've been in economically, and crypto is the way.
Well, we got some news. China trying to take over everything. Webis backs Ripple. China's Webis, a fintech firm, has filed with the SEC to raise 300 million to establish an XRP reserve and implement Ripple-based payment solution.
Figures to be China.
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 China. At this point, we don't even know how bad the US is infiltrated with people that work for China.
Uh, it's pretty bad, especially from where I kind of ended my career off. We saw a lot of rubber stamping of student visas, so
Yeah.
they're everywhere. We just had an arrest of somebody with some sort of the agricultural. What did I do, Mexi? The agricultural.
Watch your mouth. This is how I read it from Mexi. Landy, watch your mouth. I
I
love
don't know.
her.
I don't know what I said, but there was recently like
Oh, China, China.
agricultural terrorism. There was, I believe it was Wisconsin or Minnesota. One of the universities out there too were just picked up for smuggling in some sort of a agricultural based weapon, um, or a weaponized version of something. So yeah, they're here. They've been here for a while. They're in our markets all over the place.
They're taking over. They want to be the number one. They want to take over America. Will they? Can they? Will they conquer us?
No, good luck. Have fun trying.
We will see. We shall see. Coffee chain goes Bitcoin. Vanati Coffee, a Spanish coffee chain, plans to invest over 1.1 billion in Bitcoin and shift to a Bitcoin first business model. That is so freaking interesting. Coffee, yes. Like Bitcoin and coffee. What that's just a perfect combination. Guys, I am single. I am not ready to date. But if you ever want to be super nice and romantic, buy me Bitcoin and coffee, and I will be the happiest girl.
I mean, we used to have Bitcoin meetups at coffee shops, so that's kind of fitting.
It is, right? And then the smell of coffee, it's just like, oh, the smell of coffee just makes me feel some type of way. Trump said dealing with President Xi is about as difficult as dealing with his wife. President Trump said he likes Chinese President Xi, but described him as very tough and extremely difficult to strike a deal with. I mean, aren't a lot of men tough? Like dealing with David is like a pain in the ass. It's like the worst. I don't know who's worse, Xi or David. It's like, I think their relationship literally, Landy, describes David and I's relationship.
Maybe, but I think Trump and Xi will actually come to an agreement at some point, though. I think that's the real difference.
So that means David and I have hope on coming to an agreement about whatever.
Maybe, maybe, but you also know that Melania famously is someone that Trump defers to quite often and often disagrees with him about everything that he's doing, which he's mentioned has helped him make better decisions over the years. So,
That sounds, you perfectly described David's and I relationship, business relationship. I mean, guys.
oh, thank you for the clarification.
Yes, because like a lot of people would take that and twist it. David is like my little brother that I want to punch in the throat every day. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, I think you were
And
supposed to say that last part muted.
oh, my mute button is not working. Okay, a lot has happened in the last few days, Landy, in the crypto world. Like, what the F is happening to our space? Yesterday, we discussed this a little bit in David's space this morning, but yesterday, Magic Eden announced Trump's wallet collaboration. Trump's sons deny it ever happened. And then Pump.Fund drops $1 billion or announces or something about $1 billion token sale. And
Yep.
then Truth Social files for a Bitcoin ETF.
Yes, that one's big. I think that's bigger than all the other news. But yeah, the Truth Social Bitcoin spot ETF is kind of wild.
What does
And
that mean? Like for the people that might not understand why that's so big.
well, I mean, it's just another entrant into the spot ETF space, which means they'll have to in their filing, they're outlining and applying basically for the listing and you know who they're going to work with for custody and stuff like that, who their AP is going to be, that's their authorized participant, who's going to be managing it, where it's registered, all that kind of stuff. And I'm assuming that one's a shoe in. We already have plenty of spot ETFs. It's just a paperwork thing at this point. And I think it's going to be one to monitor. I want to see. I actually haven't even had a chance to look to see who their AP is going to be. I haven't looked to see who they're going to custody with. I'm assuming it's going to be Coinbase as a custodian. And I think that's the most where we're going to find the most interesting part of that is like kind of who they're working with. And this is the natural progression. I think we're going to see more and more of this. Bitcoin treasury companies, companies adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets. They'll be able to put this on the asset side of their balance sheet, have it count as a plus. There's the FASB rules change, all that kind of stuff. So this is actually a really cool thing. Now, when you get into the Magic Eden and like the pump fund stuff, I'm still a little confused about the Magic Eden thing. Um, the Magic Eden, um, like announcement about the Trump wallet powered by Magic Eden. Obviously, we saw that come up. There was already debate about that, like right off the bat, as soon as it was announced, about it being whether it was real or not. And then there was Trump and Trump's family come out and basically said like, no, we're not involved in this, and be careful using our IP, basically the Trump name. But then the official Trump token account reposted Magic Eden. So I'm very confused, and it actually led me to speculate that maybe this is all to drum up. Yeah, there's the picture. Is it incoming? There it is. Yep. Wonderful. I don't know why that puke has become a tongue, but hey, here we are.
Handy, that's actually a great picture. I just did not know that you and I would ever share a hot dog.
Yeah, seems a little odd. That hot dog clearly not enough condiments for some, too many for others. I don't know where you stand on this.
I think it's just perfect.
It is pretty good. I like that it managed to capture the essence of you and clearly captured my puking puppet there. Giving me actual like a body and legs is a little weird though.
Yeah, it's like they're making you seem like you're a little short, which I don't think you're short.
Yeah, there's been speculation that I'm a tall man larping as a short man online.
I think this your PFP probably gives it away that you are, but I mean, to me, it's cute. Like he was right on that, but let's go ahead and change you back to professional. But I thought that was cute. See?
Yeah, it was I got a good laugh out of that when I saw it. Now the Magic Eden stuff, you know, I'm we'll see how it shakes out, but it almost seems like a mindshare grab to like have this is this is real, it's not real, but it's real and conflicting information out of both sides. I think that I think that that's at this point after the repost on the Trump token account, I think it's like likely for mindshare. We'll see where that goes. And Pump Fund, good luck. You know, that's a pretty high out of the gate estimated valuation at fully diluted value of 4 billion. I'm sure that people will make money and then there's going to be a lot of top blasters.
Yes, and I have a lot of confusion too with the Magic Eden and everything that happened yesterday. And I'm kind of curious to see what happens because I don't think they posted anything today, did they? About, we can go look.
I
I
don't
just hope that I don't
know if
click on
I've seen
any
anything
stuff that you
today.
guys are not supposed to see on my profile. Maybe I should have changed to the professional profile before.
Well, it'd probably be even worse.
Oopsie, guys. Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. So, yesterday, where are you, Landy? How come I can't see you?
I'm always here, lurking in the
Okay.
shadows.
So, yesterday, like you said, Magic Eden posted the collaboration, and then the Trump meme website reposted it, and then this is where Eric, well, the other brother, what is it, Baron? He's the one that posted that his
We don't know
family
if
was
that's
not.
Baron though.
Baron, what did I say?
Eh,
Oh, we don't know.
we don't
Yeah,
know if that's really Baron. There's only been speculation that that's Baron's real account online.
I see.
But we know Eric and Dawn for
Yeah,
sure.
so those are the ones that I kind of, went on or went by, not really the young one, but this is what Eric posted. I run the Trump and I know nothing about this project. World Liberty Fight Trump at American BTC. And then Magic Eden reposted and said, yes, it's real. And then Eric comes back, this project is not, and then quoted this, not the other one, but was like, this project is not authorized by Trump. Magic Eden, I would be extremely careful using our name in a project that has not been approved and is unknown to anyone in our organization. So that was very interesting, right? And I don't think they have come back to say,
So if
well,
you click on Magic Eden's posts that were
see, and they
so
still
that's the
have it
original
pinned.
post, but look down, scroll down a bit. When you go past that, you keep going down. Have they deleted any of the other posts? So it looks like okay, earlier today, there it is.
Oh, right here. Yes, it's real.
Yeah,
Which this
so
was yesterday. Yeah.
and the Get Trump memes, I I I would assume then the Get Trump memes is not the main meme account? I was under the impression that it was at one point, but I don't know because I had that 17-hour space open the day that it launched, and I don't recall if I thought the Get Trump memes was part of what Eric and them were managing at some point.
See, and
So,
they also have this reposted. So what do you think happened here? Do you think that they they got rugged or
well, I mean, there's no rugging, but utilizing
not
someone
rugging?
else's IP without explicit authorization or a deal in place would seem a little odd. But also, I could have swore that the Trumps family were managing that particular Get Trump Memes account, right? Because that's where a lot of their official sales were going through, right?
Yeah,
For Trump and Melania. I don't know if there was, there could have been like, hey, after the Melania token stuff, because it was a different team that launched Melania. Um, which, in that space that I held a space that kind of rocketed that day where we were discussing all of this. I know David came through and many others. And this was kind of the debate when Trump launched it. There was a very specific character. There was specific characteristics to it. We had already funded liquidity pools and like all kinds of stuff for Solana and USDC and so on and so forth. And when Melania launched, obviously that was Hayden and his crew managed to weasel their way in and launch that one. It was a very different looking launch. It was not the same. I was cautioning people even at the time, if you're getting into this, you better get in, get out quick because this thing is not the same. It's clearly not the same team that launched it. We found that out to be true later. And so I don't know whatever happened with the Get Trump memes because I remember them reposting that account, or I could have swore I did. Maybe I'm misremembering. So seeing that they reposted the Magic Eden stuff, but then the Trump family's denying that they're associated with this Trump wallet thing. And Magic Eden's like a legit company, like they're above board. So this is a very
yeah.
odd situation. I really don't know what to make of it.
I don't either. I mean, I think everything will come out, play out if they did do something with them. I'm not sure why now the boys or the men are saying that they had nothing to do, but obviously I think somebody from their team probably did something and I don't know. I don't know, Landy. I don't want to speculate and I don't want to be a conspiracy
Oh,
theorist on
I
this.
love speculation and conspiracy theory. If somebody on their team that's managing this side of things pulled off a deal without them, there's going to be hell to pay. And I would imagine that if we do hear anything about it, because the actual wallet account that Magic Eden shared was taken down and suspended, so that happened pretty quick. There's clearly, the ops are inside the house, right? If that's
Yeah.
the case. Otherwise, I would imagine at this point, if there was some kind of deal that did not fall under the purview or ever hit the desk of either of the brothers, and specifically Eric Trump, because he's managing this stuff on the business side, that's a big no-no, first off. And I don't know if he would just straight up cut it out and stop the entire deal, or if it was done without his knowledge from somebody inside, or if he might just try to renegotiate the deal and salvage something out of it. Because look, any press, bad or good, is good press, right? So, and that's kind of been the Trump way, is say something or do something that's controversial or boisterous, to drum up eyeballs and mind share. And
You imagine one of the brothers did strike that deal and then didn't tell anybody else. And then, of course, this release, they got wind of it. And then everybody's like, nah, we're going to save face in public. And all of them are like, nope, nope, we had no involvement. And actually, one of them probably did. Because, it can
I,
happen in the family of politics and
I don't know
money
about
and greed.
brothers though. Maybe it was family. I would think that it might be somebody lower, because look, if you're going to do a deal with any of them, I would. That's the I would use Magic Eden. They have a great wallet. They have an entire NFT platform. Trump NFTs are traded there, right? So, there was a ton of volume going through the Magic Eden wallet. when the
Do
Trump
you
token and Melania tokens were traded.
think maybe too they could have met up with Magic Eden or somebody on their team, just to kind of get insights of how they were going to do the wallet, just to get information to also feed into what they're doing because they're going to also be doing a wallet, right, through World Liberty Finance.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that could be. Maybe they had an MVP pitch to them and they were in negotiations and maybe there was some communications that got mixed up there and Magic Eden thought they were ready to go and they didn't. It could be, if you don't have look in that world, if you don't have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted, there's hell to pay. And that's Magic Eden and Magic Eden Wallet, they've made a lot of strides in this space in general on the NFT side, on the ordinal side, on the rune side. They have a lot of mind share, a lot of market share. And we've seen even how other platforms have had to adjust to what they're doing, even not just with their platform, but their wallet. It's I could see a good deal, but if the Trump, if World Liberty Financial is building out their own wallet infrastructure, maybe Magic Eden was involved in this and thought that this could be part of it, but this wasn't part of it. Maybe it wasn't part of the deal. We'll find out more. It is all speculation. I have the feeling that I don't think the Magic Eden would go that they don't seem like the team that would push forward with an announcement like this unless they thought they had a deal in place.
Yeah. I was reading some interesting news breaking a little bit earlier about how Michelle Obama revealed that her daughters have pushed away from her and Barack, and then somebody posted that they found out that that's not their parents.
Oh no. Oh
Oh my
god, this
gosh.
feeds into the Big Mike stuff, huh? Um,
There's been so much conspiracy around that stuff. But before we jump into Obama and politics again, want to cover Pump Dot Fund with you really quick. What do you think of the announcement, the 1 billion and then 4 billion AVF or evaluation or something like that?
yeah,
What do you
that the fully diluted valuation, the FTV, yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I think they're gonna be successful in their launch, and I think it's gonna be all extractive, like everything else pump fund related. And like the team, what have they been doing the entire time? They just rip clips and transfer it right
So
off the
why do
chain.
you think that what do you think speculation is the motive of them doing that? I mean, don't they already make a lot of money in fees and other stuff?
Oh, it's died down a lot. I mean, the volume has died down a lot. So is it a volume play? Yeah. It's also they have a vested interest with the pool, with the pools that they've now created. So but it's also about, product market fit with what they have and what they can move forward with. And they could potentially, depending on how allocation goes and how the sale goes, which, we're still awaiting a lot of details on that kind of stuff. I think that they, over any other platform that is like them, have the most mind share, obviously. And that mind share is increasing with this announcement, with all the different social metrics. So I think that they could be successful with a token launch, but it's a matter of how extractive is it going to be.
Landy,
And
do you think too that they probably are trying to raise money because, overhead and then some ventures that they recently are getting into? For example, they recently partnered up with Based House, Jake Soul, for their
mhm,
content creation house that they recently announced 6 days ago.
I think they have plenty of working capital. I mean, we saw all
Do
the money
you?
they were transferring off. Yeah, no, they were millions and millions and millions at a time. Um, moving to stables and then, off ramping and stuff like that, just moving out of the network. I don't think they have a cash problem. That's for sure. If they do, then there's something else going on, right? Because you don't make that much on fees and then have a cash problem on the books there. So I think they have
You
plenty of
never
dry
know,
powder.
right? Because it seems like nowadays 100 million, 400. What have they transferred? 400, 700 million, 800.
It's in something insane. I just
Yeah.
remember the last big tranches that they were
I mean, because
transferring off.
we have to remember, Kamala burned what 1.4 billion in 6 weeks. So I mean, there's a possibility that people can burn through that much money.
Sure, but they've also been building and like you said, making these partnerships and doing deals, so making moves. Having a token for your platform is the natural evolution anyway. They were one of the few that didn't, right? And now having liquidity pools, platform token, and all of these different partnerships, it's a natural extension of that.
Yeah,
The token's going to be, a speculative play, but they can make use of it. They can do rewards in it, and they can do all kinds of stuff later. It gives them options all over the place. Um, and then plus it's probably going to be pretty high volume, so they're going to make a lot of money on it, right? And they get to feature their own pools and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot that they can do with it. At the end of the day, it's all about watching how it plays out and how much extraction is going to occur with it. I think that it's also going to depend on market conditions when they launch. So if the market is down and they launch, it's going to be hyper extractive from everyone involved, not just, I'm not saying that they're going to extract. I'm sure they can extract from fees. I mean, they don't even need to do anything at the end of the day. They can rip clips off fees like they have been the entire time. They've been making a boatload of cash on that. So it's just the meta, and different players that get involved are going to be looking to get in and get out much quicker if the market is in a downtrend, for instance, versus an uptrend, especially a strong uptrend. If they launch, if they time it right, I think that it could be very successful. But the people in this space, they'll sell out from under you for $20. So we gotta wait and see. Um, I don't hate on anyone building real product market fit in this game. And they obviously had a product market fit, and people can either love it or hate it. People still use it, and they can still make money from it in many different ways. And this just gives them more options to make money and get volume back.
absolutely. Okay, so completely changing the topic outside of crypto. What do you think of the comment that I just made in regards to Michelle Obama stating, that her daughters have distanced themselves from them? It's part of adulthood growing up. And then somebody making a comment, they found out that they are not their parents. That's why the girls distance themselves from the Obamas.
I mean, obviously, that is a theory that has been around for a long time. Um, and it's not like Michelle Obama doesn't know when saying this that it will perpetuate the big Mike theory. Um, it really doesn't even matter anymore if it's true or not. At this point, it's ingrained in meme culture and internet culture, and even in regular everyday people think this, take one side or the other on that particular issue. It is weird, the no pictures of her pregnant and like all this other stuff and the speculation on who the real parents might be. I find it very interesting, but I am a data driven person. So while as much as I'd like to believe all of that, um, it's just speculation, and it's funny. And if it's true, it's even funnier that they were able to create enough chaos to have people choose sides and choose their side. I don't like the Obamas. I think that they were very bad for our country.
Mhm.
And if I was one of their kids, I'd also distance myself from them.
Damn, Landy, like just like that.
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay, so what do you think the speculation that Michelle is a dude?
I look, there's there's some weird videos of Michelle. Obviously then a lot of people reference some of the more doctored stuff, but there's real videos of Michelle And they like to call it a microphone problem. And I'm like, well, if I was dancing like that, I'd have a microphone problem too.
Wow. That
you
is
know,
some wild ass. I mean, I don't know. I think at first I never saw it. It's like, but then as time progressed and I started seeing memes and started seeing things on social media, I'm like, okay, I can see it now. I can see it. Big
I
Mike,
mean,
Sticky Rivers
um,
and Big Mike.
was it Joan Rivers?
Uh,
The famous video of her walking along and saying that everybody knows that Michelle's a man or whatever.
I think so.
Um, did I say Joan Rivers? Who
Joan
am I
Rivers.
thinking? I'm thinking of the right person, right?
Is it the one that passed away, Joan Rivers? The one
Yeah,
that she used to talk about like people on
she's a
the red
celebrity
carpet?
guru. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
yes.
Okay, yeah. So, there's that famous video. There's been others that have also come out and said it. It's weird. It's a weird thing. Look, there's always questions. Obviously, like the French president and his wife, right? There's been some questions about some leaders.
That slap in the face right in front of everyone?
Oh my god, that was wild. Although what I did think was wild is like, oh, they were fighting over this person that was clearly like a flight attendant. Like clearly they were wearing a patch on their side. They did not have a bloody shoulder, like all this other stuff. But he definitely took double hands to the face, and then tried to play it off in the worst way.
I
It's just,
mean, I don't it seems like they were kind of hitting and then he backed
yeah.
up and where everyone, the whole world saw.
Yep. I mean, look, they're all people. I mean, some might accuse them of being lizard people or lizard people, but you know, we're all people at the end of the day, and we all have issues. And
Mess around and find out, right? Or how do you say it? F FAFO.
yeah, fuck around and find out.
Thank you, Mandy.
I mean, a bad look on her part, shoving him right in the face for the public eye, but it is what it is. As for Michelle Obama and Barack, man, I think my bet is, you remember Trump attacking him a lot about his birth certificate.
Yeah.
I wonder if, like, last day in office, he just drops a bomb if they have it, right? Like, here you
That would
go.
be wild.
Because they're going after the auto pen stuff, like the DOJ has that stuff now. So if anyone out there doesn't think that Trump in this position already knows who's who and what's going on, you're silly. He's got all the information. He's got access to all of the information, and he gets to use that information. He can use it however he wants. He can drag it out, make it very painful for them if he has information on him, or he can release it.
Yeah.
Um, I would say if I were him and I had that information, considering everything that, Obama basically had his third term under freaking Biden there, getting staffers that were all former Obama associates and connected that were right there in the Oval Office. Who knows if maybe that auto pen situation starts to wrap up people close to Obama.
I think
Um,
that's why they elected Biden or they got him elected so they can actually run the show and
yep.
they were actually the puppet masters.
Well, I mean, if you lean into the Big Mike theory, then you'd understand why they were pushing the trans agenda so hard. And look,
Yes,
I mean that
absolutely. Yes. Oh, disgusting.
I mean if that's, I live in a state where there's people around me that are part of that, not part of that community, but are identify in that way, that are very sick of their own people in the community. And it's pretty interesting that didn't occur until under this last 4-year administration. What's going to come out the other side of that? If I had the information, I'd freaking drop bombs, baby. I'd be out there like, nope, not illegitimate, 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 and here's the documentation, and y'all go fight about it in public. Here it's all declassified. That's what I would do if I was Trump, but I'd wait until the very last day because I'd be holding it over everyone's heads first.
I
and make
got
them do what I
this
want them to
on you,
do.
suckers.
Yeah, dance, dance. Maybe I won't
Dance to
release
make
it.
you
Maybe I
dance.
will.
Secrets that make you dance. Bands that make you dance. But Landy, we're at top of the hour. Thank you so much for coming on with me today and talking. I thought we were going to have a debate, maybe get, angry at each other and then be happy again afterwards. But I think our relationship is great. We just don't have that.
Well, I appreciate you,
Appreciate
Leslie.
I appreciate your knowledge. You have a show back Friday, right? It's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yeah, just a little bit of TA, powered by the Gokhshtein News Network, uploaded every Monday, Wednesday, Friday after the close of markets, which for me, when I'm on the East Coast is 8 p.m. When I'm on the West Coast is 5 p.m. So until the time change occurs, it'll go up shortly after they always go up, I should say, shortly after the market close, so that we get a good view on what's to come. And yeah, and that's been fun, and I appreciate everyone that tunes in and learns a little something from it.
And if you're not learning something, then I don't know what the hell your problem is. And I guess I'm telling myself too, maybe I need to focus and pay a little attention, or maybe I need a one on one. Landy, we should do one where it's like you're actually telling me what to do and me walking through it because, I'm very hands on. You just might get a little frustrated, but that's okay. I mean, that's going to really question, our relationship to see, how much I can frustrate and annoy you when you're doing TA and I'm trying to learn from you.
Sure, we can do that anytime you
And
want.
can you please free David for his show tomorrow? David has a show tomorrow,
Oh,
The Breakdown.
he
Or wait,
escaped. He escaped this morning. I mean, I don't know who let him out. I thought maybe it was one of you. Went and I saw the trunk lock broken, and he escaped, and there was butter and Diddy oil and all kinds of hot dogs everywhere. Just I
the
followed it as
intern.
far as I
It was
could.
the intern.
Oh, it was the intern. Great.
It was a freaking intern. You know that, no lie, I think, what was it, last year? We were not doing live streaming. It was only David. And I actually got him to in the trunk of my car. And he couldn't do his show for like I think 2 to 3 days, and I had him captive, and I actually ended up doing a space, but it was fun because it was like a lot of people were posting memes, gifs, and stuff like that that I had kidnapped David. It was fun time. We should do that
Yeah.
again one time. But tune in tomorrow to David's, what does he call his show, Landy? Meme radio, crypto radio, like
Crypto Talk Radio.
thank you. Crypto Talk Radio. And then after that, he is going to have his breakdown live stream. And then we do have Hotep Jesus at 2 o'clock, the Grift Report live on Kick. Then we have Julie Kennis at 4 p.m. Tune into her. And then we will be back. I know that Jules is taking a break. And then there's Soka, Money Maxis. Tune in at night. David will be back tomorrow. So if you guys came for David tonight and were very disappointed because you had me and Landy, you can tune in to David tomorrow where, he is doing biohacking and he's kind of disappearing. He's looking like a skeleton. I don't know where the muscle is. He claims he's doing a lot of push-ups, a lot of things to build his muscle. He's not even eating protein. So how the hell can you build muscle if you're not eating protein and you're just drinking water? You're just disappearing.
Just disappearing is so great.
Right? Like, did you see his cheekbones and stuff like that? I mean, come on. At this point, we're going to start calling him David Skeletor.
Skeletor David. Oh
Yep.
man. Yep. Ammo for tomorrow morning.
So stay tuned, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the nightly recap, sponsored by Hoppy, powered by GNN. I am Leslie Mota, and this is Landy, and we will be back. Maybe Landy and I next week. Who knows? We'll see. GNN, everyone. That's straight from Landy. Take care.